Hello, everybody. Today we're joined by my good buddy, John Godwin. I'm sure you remember John, or Godwin, as he was called, on the hit reality show, Duck Dynasty, that aired for several years. Now, if you watch the show, then you know it's centered around the success of the Robertson family and their family business of making duck calls at Duck Commander. What a great show. I was lucky enough to appear on that show one time. John worked right along with the Robertson men at Duck Commander for 25 years. However, when I saw John last, he was just about to retire. I think it's time I checked in on my old friend and asked him these three questions. John, I know that you retired from Duck Commander. Tell me, what the heck have you been doing?
Boy, Bill, don't you let Miss Paula hear you say that R word, retired. But you're right, I am retired from Duck Commander, but I have started my third career at 62 years old. I am now a full-time crappie guide, and it is awesome. I get to fish every day. I have a job to where I have to fish every day. I love it. People say, well, you ain't able to catch no fish. It don't matter. I got to find them. I got to keep up with them because this is what I love. You can have the grumpiest old tough looking guy in the boat with you and you let him get a tug on his line and his smile goes from right here all the way to his earlobe. They don't even know they're doing it. I just look at them and they're smiling, reeling in. It's awesome. I love it. I just love doing it. Love meeting people, and we have a great time out there. So if you want to go fishing, shameless plug here, GodwinGuides.com. That's my website. So that's what I'm doing now, Bill. Fishing every day.
A crappie guide? Good gosh. That's great, buddy. You know, if you do what you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. So, do you have any good tips you'd like to share for catching crappie?
Yeah, I'll give you a tip, Bill. This is for beginners or experts alike. This is what you do. You can get a cork and put on your line under a jig, and that cork, fish with that, it'll give you a depth where you can control your depth. When you finally find out what depth they're at, you can keep it right there at the right depth. You don't have to guess every time you cast. You ain't got to count down. It keeps your bait in the strike zone longer. And if you're running the bank, it keeps your bait up off the bottom where you don't hang up all the time. So you can just twitch it, give it a little action, and the bait just sits right there in front of him. He can't stand it, he'll go get it. And that cork will sink. And who don't like seeing a cork sink? Oh, that's pretty awesome. Jigs or minnows, you can use that with both of them. So use a cork. Try fishing with a cork. It's fun.
Now, that's a great tip, John. What about your favorite lake or places to fish for crappie?
Now, Bill, you know my favorite place to fish is with you. Anywhere you are. Now, I remember the first time me and you fished together. I got to go catfishing with you, you and George Young, and we were idling out of the mud island there behind the pyramid at Bass Pro in Memphis. And you looked over at me and you said, "Can you fish 70 foot of water?" And I looked back at you, I said, "Do you have 71 foot of line?" You just kept going. Well, I remember that. And I caught some big old catfish that day. That was pretty awesome. I'd never bumped before, but now my favorite place to fish, I guess my favorite lake would be my home lake, Lake Darbon at Farmville, but I really love going to Mississippi, to the Big Three. It was the Big Four. Arca Butler was my favorite place to fish. And they had trouble with the dam, as you know, and the water's low. They had to drain it to fix it. But the Big Three now, Grenada, Sardis, and Enid on that 55 highway corridor, They got, just because of the quality of fish. Mississippi's really doing good with they're keeping their fish going, and the quality's just outstanding over there. They got some giants over there. Land of the giants, that's what I call it. The big three out of Mississippi.
Okay, I got one last question for you. If you had one funny story to share when you were working at Duck Commanders, what would it be?
Now, Bill, you said you was gonna give me 3 questions, not 4. You throwing a 4th one in on me. Hey, but what's the funniest thing that I can remember working at Duck Commander is, well, it always revolves around Si, as you know. We were duck hunting 2 years ago, teal hunting, early teal season in September, and we ain't seen nothing for a couple of days, but the 3rd day, there was a bunch of 11 come in, just, and we had some pent up frustrations. And they come together, and bad move on their part, because we got them all. And Phil just stuck his chest out. He says, boys, I went 3 for 3 on that. And Si sitting next to him says, well, all I know is there's 6 ducks in front of me on the water. Now I know I killed 2, and Jay beside me, he killed 2, and Jay said he killed 3 going out. So things ain't adding up. Ain't adding up. Phil says, well, Si, what about them boys sitting up to the right of you? He said, that's what I'm talking about. If I didn't come, we wouldn't kill nothing. Oh, Si, he's like a good woman. You can't hunt with him, and you can't hunt without him. You gotta have him. That man, he is something else. I'll never forget that day. But anyway, Bill, I gotta go fishing. I'm in my boat. I'm fixing to head out the door. I'm going to Darbone and do a little long lining. So we'll catch you later. I'll see you in a few weeks.
That's a great story, buddy. Thanks for sharing, and thank you for taking time out of your busy crappie guiding schedule. It was great catching up with you, my friend, and I'll certainly be sure to check you out on GODWINGUIDES.com. That's GodwinGuides.com. And tell you what, make plans soon and let's go fishing, okay? Please give Paula a big hug for me, okay? Okay.